up? Welcome to ToyMatt, a channel we take vintage toys, compare them to their modern reproduction or counterparts. Today we're going to be looking at Star Wars MicroMachines. Back in the early 90s, MicroMachines started producing a line of spaceships, Star Wars, Star Trek, Babylon 5, in their MicroMachine scale, which was pretty cool. And upon the release of The Force Awakens, they started releasing them again. So here is an example of the packaging. This is from Rebels. So you got an A-Wing, Ghost, TIE Bomber, Mandalorian Fighter, Interdictor, Mandalorian, and there's Hera. So you're getting 5 ships in here and a couple microfigures. The back isn't too exciting. So they released these for Rebels, Rogue One, The Force Awakens, and then just some original trilogy packages. But what I have here now, I have some examples from Rogue One and Rebels. So starting off in the back, we've got an original AT-AT, or AT-AT, and the AT-ACT, or the cargo walker from Rogue One. And then we've got an X-Wing from the original line, and an X-Wing here in the black and gray, which is kind of cool. Then over here, these are kind of similar. We've got the Interdictor cruiser from Rebels and the Imperial Star Destroyer. And then we got the Ghost and the Millennium Falcon. I picked these because they're both similar stock-like freighters. And then A-Wings, of course, as always. TIE Bombers, and these AT-ST Scout Walkers that don't consistently stand. They're on their sides like any good Scout Walker should be. What has changed in 25 years of production? Well, first off, the original series came with these little stands. So you can, display your toys. You can see from these that they are very yellowed. The new ones did not. However, they came with the peg holes. I don't know if you can see that too well there, but it has the peg hole. And the original stands work. Actually, in a lot of cases, better than they do with some of the original MicroMachines. So how do they compare? How do they stand up to each other? Well, we'll start with the TIE Bomber because it's the same exact ship, just in the new line. And if I must say so, it's a pretty good recreation. It's a little bit smaller, but still very close to the same scale. It's still got a whole lot of detailing. I think the biggest difference is from just the visual perspective, is the color palette. The new ones generally have a lighter base, and the paint application, it shows through that this is just lighter in general in color. There is some difference in the plastic. I don't want to say just the plastic feels different. Again, 25 years, changes in manufacturing techniques, and it's going to be a little bit different. They're not going to make an exact reproduction. I think the detailing on the newer ones is just as good as the old ones. The Millennium Falcon, there's a lot of lines that were put in the molds for this, a lot of small details, and they picked some of it up with paint, which makes it look good. I would say the paint application on the small details is a little bit better. The lines are much tighter. There's less, I guess bleed would be the best term, on the painted on details. Let's take a closer look at these X-Wings. One of my favorite things about the old MicroMachine lines was the number of variants. You would get an X-Wing fighter, and you get an X-Wing fighter with closed strike foils. You would get an X-Wing fighter that's been crashed on Dagobah and is all swampy. I like that they added this black and white X-Wing. Came from Rogue One. I get maybe it might have been in a deleted scene, or maybe one of the artists just got the opportunity to go wild with their imagination. Some of these are articulated. So the old AT-AT, its neck moved around. This is old and has been played with, so it's not as tight as it could be. but the new ones are solid. The ATST, its legs moved, which kind of helps with its balance sometimes. The new one is just a solid piece. Apparently these did not do too well. The entire MicroMachines Star Wars line has come out with the new trilogy of movies, and it hasn't done well. A lot of this stuff you can find on clearance pretty cheap. However, the older stuff is still very popular. You can expect to pay a couple bucks on eBay for the more popular ships, and some of the micro figures are also a couple bucks each. I've always really enjoyed these, and I'm glad that they decided to continue the line and continue making these. But what are your thoughts? Do you have any of these things back in the day or now? And what is your favorite one? Mention it in the comments below. And until next time, when we take some toys and have them, take it to the toy mat.